Let's do it again for Mary Ellen Wilson. I wanted to be a poet. There was an old saying that said, I'm a poet, but I don't know it, but my dick shows it. It's a Longfellow. But, and then there's a cleaner version. This is my feet show it. They're Longfellows, but that's how the original went. You know? Just so you know, I mean, yeah. Yeah. But I did try to write a poem, and it goes like this. The dying rays of the sun whisper to me gently as the birds in the sky prepare for nightfall, singing me to sleep. The cries of the passengers fade away in the distance as I drift off to slumber and the bus crosses the line into oncoming traffic. Aww. And coming up next, we've got Gerald Vanderpot. Gerald! Let's hear it for Gerald, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Alex. You guys still awake out there?
Yeah!
All right. I'm going to begin with just read a little bit from this anthology called Beat Poets. I bought it at City Lights, and it's in the introduction. Writing with an audacious swagger and an iconoclastic zeal, and declaiming their verse with dramatic flourish in smoke-filled cafes, the Beats gave birth to a literature of previously unimaginable expressive range. So yeah, everybody knows about Ginsberg and Ferlinghetti and Kerouac, but they really started a whole generation. And I'm going to read a poem from Gary Snyder, who is one of my favorite poets from this era. He's kind of like a philosophical beat poet. This is titled, Under the Skin of It. Naturally tender flesh and such, being entirely mortal, fragile, and complex as a model plane, demanding attention in its unfair ways, getting, of course, the pleasure that it seeks. But is it pleased? Flesh being a type of clay or dust, spirit the other like gas, rising and floating in the hollow of the skull. Which is to know the other's real delight? Both under the skin, which stretches as we grow, sagging a trifle in the pinch of time, enchanting, the thought of pleasure pleasing both flesh and bone.
Wow.
Next, if I can find it, I'm going to read one from Jack Kerouac.
Woo! Woo!
Yes. It's titled, Mexican Loneliness. And I am an unhappy stranger, grouking in the streets of Mexico. My friends have died on me, my lovers disappeared, my whores banned, my bed rocked and heaved by earthquake, and no holy weed to get high by candlelight, and dream only fumes of buses. Dust storms and maids peeking at me through a hole in the door, secretly drilled to watch masturbators fuck pillows. I am the gargoyle of Our Lady, dreaming in space, gray mist dreams, my face pointed towards Napoleon. I have no form. My address book is full of RIPs. I have no value in void. At home without honor. My only friend is an old fag without a typewriter. Who, if he's my friend, I'll be buggered. I have some mayonnaise left, a whole unwanted bottle of oil, peasants washing my skylight, a nut clearing in his throat, in the bathroom next to mine, 100 times a day, sharing my common ceiling. If I get drunk, I get thirsty. If I walk, my foot breaks down. If I smile, my mask's a farce. If I cry, I'm just a child. If I remember, I'm a liar. If I write, the writing's done. If I die, the dying's over. If I live, the dying's just begun. If I wait, the waiting's longer. If I go, the going's gone. If I sleep, the bliss is heavy. The bliss is heavy on my lids. If I go to cheap movies, the bed bugs get me. Expensive movies I can't afford. If I do nothing, nothing does.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the beats have influenced me. I'm gonna close with one original poem. It's called Caffeine Head, and as people know, Jack Kerouac wrote On the Road in like one weekend, all speeded up. But that's not uncommon for writers. They like their stimulants. I think it keeps them working. So this is titled Caffeine Head. Like Jack Kerouac wrote On the Road, how Bob Dylan sang away the 60s, Hunter S. on the campaign trail, early Sunday morning, drinking massive amounts of coffee, not eating anything, my best emerges. Thoughts race through my brain to fast the right down, smoke a little pot, try to slow life down. A stoner speedball suspends child's heaven, not what killed John Belushi, but along those lines. It's all right, I'm already dead. I just don't know it yet. Thank you.
Gerald on Vanderpot. I've always just known you as Gerald. I never knew your last name. All this time I've just called you Gerald. Did not know you were, some sort of from Denmark or somewhere.
My ancestors are. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so anyway,
Alex, just don't call me late for supper.
there you go. There we go. It's when I was about 35, it was 15 years ago, I was playing with my nephew and niece, and I'm good with kids. Kids like me. And so I was playing with them, and my mom was there, and this was my brother's kids. And she said, "Oh my God, you're so good with kids. They love you. They play with you. They mind you. They go to sleep in your arms. What is it? Don't you want children of your own?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd also like a laser pistol. That doesn't mean someone should give me one." And the thing is, the children love me immediately. They take one look in my direction and they say, "Here's someone with access to cake." And I remember my mother once told me not to waste my life reliving the past and reminiscing. I remember when she told me that. Good times. Good times. Next, we got a really great poet coming up. You're going to love this, and I love this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, Leon Alexander. Leon!
All right, so don't throw anything at me, but I'm new to the beat poets and beat poetry. Chris Vannoy has slowly been introducing me, and when he told me some poets to skim through and some poems to look at, I was amazed at how 5 a.m. by Allen Ginsberg was similar to one of my poems that I'll read after this. But this is 5 a.m. Allen Ginsberg. A line that lifts me above the clouds into pure space, timeless, yea eternal. Breath transmuted into words, transmuted back to breath. In 200 years, nearly immortal. Sepul's 26 centuries of cadenced breathing, beyond time, clocks, empires, bodies, cars, chariots, rocket ships, skyscrapers, nation empires, brass walls, polished marble, Inca artwork of the mind. But where does it come from? Inspiration. The muses drawing breath for you. God? Nah, don't believe it. You'll get entangled in heaven or hell. Guilt power. That makes the heartbeat wake all night, flooding mind with space, echoing through future cities, megalopolis or Cretan village, Zeus's birth cave, Lassithi Plains, Otsego County farmhouse, Kansas front porch. Buddha's a help, promises ordinary mind no nirvana. Coffee, alcohol, cocaine, mushrooms, marijuana, laughing gas, nope, too heavy. For this lightness lifts the brain into blue sky. At May dawn, when birds start singing on East 12th Street, where does it come from? Where does it go? Forever. and this is Concepts of Conception. I chase thoughts around invisible corners through the maze of my mind, with hopes that trailing them will lead me to their place of origin. I always seem to catch them while they're at work, diligently building who knows what, and carving tunnels that lead to who knows where, like they're part of some secret service. But I never see where they come from. Well, today, I vow for my victory in their evasive game of hide and seek. I know they eventually have to return home after such a long day of labor, so silently I'll wait, keeping just enough space behind them to keep them from noticing me as I follow them home. The chase is on, but just when I thought I could outthink my thoughts, they're on to me, catching on to them. They mysteriously multiply, heading in multiple directions. I know I only have to keep up with one. I stay on his tail as he ducks and dodges, but then to my surprise, I didn't know he could fly. For a brief moment that feels like eternity, I allow myself the discomfort of soaking in this ice-cold pool of defeat. I fight the urge to flee, and with the serenity of accepting the things I cannot change, I surrender to my current circumstance. Then out of nowhere, I'm tapped on the shoulder from behind by a forgotten thought who reminds me that I also once had wings. That at some point in time, I was only a thought in someone else's mind. How divine to realize we all once had wings, and that what begins as just a thought in our minds eventually spreads its wings and comes to life. Ah, I found it. The place where thoughts go and build their homes. The same place they come from before they make their way inside, through our ears and eyes and the remaining of our six senses, as they carve tunnels, build structures, and multiply throughout our minds, only to bring new thoughts to life. The artist. Life is art in its greatest form. Stroke of a genius, canvas painted on. As art comes to life, my heart comes to light. How can a mind shine so brightly? Painting a picture where figures move and images protrude from the canvas, daily and nightly. How can your art have a mind of its own? Who am I but a painting, your art, your dream, your creation? If art is a reflection of its creator, I'm more than grateful to emulate just a fraction of your greatness. So while I try to paint something never been seen, I know it'll take creating something never been dreamed, which means taking myself out of the picture. In other words, becoming one with my creator. So I peel myself from the canvas, place me in your hand and let us paint together. And through your blessing, may I continue in your legend, creating a new first. Through this vivid verse, giving birth to a universe, unparalleled and painted with a passion that incinerates the canvas to lava red ashes of nothingness. And as I paint the open air on no canvas, it becomes a new canvas. Close your eyes, open your minds, and step inside. Welcome to a place which never existed until we arrived. We painted it. Created in the image of our creator, we are artists, much more than just a painting. Now go and create something that brings you to life. Thank you.
Give it up again for Leon Alexander, man. Leon, he's a tall drink of water, isn't he?
Yeah, tall drink of water.
Yeah. I mean, that guy takes you to another place. Did everyone feel like you kind of went somewhere else for a little, kind of like a better place, kind of like a nice place? Okay, I'm bringing you back here.
Now this is a true story. I'll tell you, there was a critic that recently reviewed one of my book called Chip Chip Chaw. Chip Chip Chaw.
Yay!
And it's a book of short stories, and I read a couple of pieces from that. There we go. That's what I'm talking about right there. And it's about the imbalance between man and nature, as you might expect. And it's a funny little book, and you might enjoy it. It's available on Amazon.